Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Yin. Great to have you along. And you may have noticed we have a change of scenery. I have a new teaching space. I had an epiphany just yesterday and trialed this out and it worked quite well. So it's much easier for me to set up and pack up every week and feels quite good. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's make a start. We're going to start in a supported child's pose tonight. So for supported child's pose, you can use your bolster at one end of your mat. And you bring your buttocks back to your heels so you can have your knees comfortably wide apart. If your buttocks doesn't make it to your heels, you could use some padding, a folded blanket, or a cushion in between your thighs and your calves. And then you can bring your bolster between your legs. You may like to rest your chest on it, or you could bring it right in and rest your belly on it as well. And you can bring your head right down onto your bolster. So you can snuggle right in. You can rest your head to one side. Or perhaps there's a way that you can rest your forehead on your bolster if you can work that out comfortably. I find it easier on my side, but it depends on your neck. And if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can do child's pose in any other way. So you can do it without the bolster. You could bring your knees together. There's a couple of options. And let's all take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just inviting yourself to be right here. Inviting yourself to start to let go of what has been over the weekend or your week or the day. And also what's to come. And just bringing yourself back to this present moment. You may notice the rise and the fall of your breath as you're resting here. Use your breath to anchor yourself back to this present moment. If you drift away, which we all do, and guide yourself back and focus in on your breath. One more minute here. Just noticing if you need to make any subtle adjustments or if you need to come out of the pose, if you feel like you've had enough, it's time for some rest, that's perfectly okay. It's also important that if you feel any pain or sharp stabbing sensations, too much sensation, that you come out. So you honour your body's needs. this pose. The pose may not be for everyone, each pose. I can always support you with different options. And let's take 2 more breaths here, so just in your own time. And then let's slowly start to roll back. Slowly coming back up to a sitting position. Pausing for a moment. And then removing your bolster to one side. And let's sit up on our square cushion. Up on a cushion, and let's windshield wiper our legs. Or perhaps you might like to roll your ankles when you're feeling a little bit stiff today. So you can windshield wipe your legs by dropping one knee into the center at a time. Just to ease out through our hips. And then let's feel the effect of the rebound by taking our legs out in front. You can sit up or lean back on your hands. Or you may like to come forward, bending your knees and resting your arms over your knees. So wherever you are, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Just feeling the release, that sense of energy flowing through the fascia, the connective tissue. Just allow a little bit of space to allow it to flow. Now let's leave the rebound and staying sitting on your cushion. We're going to come into a butterfly pose. I'm just putting a little bit of padding in front of me here because I have floorboards. So we bring our legs out in front and into the shape of a diamond in the center of our legs. And from here, for the full butterfly, we fold forward, rounding through our spine. And this is a flexion through our spine. If this feels too much, you can place a couple of blocks, one on either side, underneath your knees for some support. You could also come onto a bolster. So you could have your bolster further down at your feet, depending on how far you come forward. Or you could have it closer in to your torso. So this will give you different experiences of the pose. So you might like to experiment with the blocks or your bolster so that you find that edge that feels right for you. Settling into the pose, connecting in with your breath. You can have a sense or a feeling of this gradual softening as you exhale. Relaxing your shoulders down your back. Perhaps softening through your upper back. When we stay still in each yin pose, we're allowing space for this connective tissue, this web of tissue that runs right through our body to soften. It surrounds the fat, it's called the fascia, and it surrounds all of our muscles, all of our organs. And it can play a part in mobility. That's what we're working here in Yin, the fascia of our body. Just noticing any thoughts that arise, just observing them. Bring yourself back to that natural rhythm of your breath. And let's take 2 more breaths here. So in your own time. Finished your breath, slowly starting to roll back up. Just pausing, removing your props. And let's lean back on our hands. And you might like to do a windshield wiper one more time. Or roll through your ankles, feet, stretch your toes. And then let's take our legs out long again. Or you can bend into them and rest over your knees. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just noticing any sensations you might feel in your legs. May feel subtle pulsation as the energy flows. Or perhaps it's a feeling of warmth. Perhaps some part of your legs are still cool. Right, just observing. And now let's leave the rebound. And from here, we're going to stay sitting on our cushion. So you may like to cross your legs, or you could sit back on your heels. We're just going to do a couple of neck stretches. And make sure your spine is nice and long. Your shoulders are relaxed down. And let's take our left ear to our left shoulder. So if you do have neck issues, you may like to skip this one, or just go very cautiously. Noticing any sensations up the right hand side of your neck, perhaps into your head, perhaps even into your shoulder area. And then if it feels okay, you could drop your chin towards your chest. Start to play around a little bit to see if you can find a nice juicy position. Perhaps it's a gentle movement, or perhaps it's stillness. And let's slowly bring our neck up, just pausing in the center. And let's take our right ear towards our right shoulder. Not to feel it up the left-hand side of your neck. Really noticing what you're feeling. And you may like to move your chin towards your chest. Do a gentle roll to find that juicy position. Just work slowly. And then bringing your head back to the center, just pausing for a moment. And from here, we're going to come into caterpillar pose. So sitting up on your cushion, taking your legs out long. So we're working down our hamstrings, back of our legs. If you have a tendency to round through your lower back, you may like to give yourself some more height with an additional cushion or some other padding underneath your buttocks. And then you can have your knees slightly bent and coming forward. So this is the full caterpillar pose. If this feels a bit too much, you could place a bolster or some other support underneath your knees. And fold forward from there. Or if you're not using your bolster underneath your knees, perhaps you might like to round over your bolster or use it as a ledge to rest on. So finding the right option for you and settling in and gradually softening as you exhale. Noticing if you've gone back into thinking. Just guide yourself back to your breath. To the feelings, sensations in your body. You can anchor yourself here in this present moment. Staying connected with your breath. Just allowing or inviting yourself to be right here in the stillness. And lead up to the Easter break and feel quite pressured for many of us. Just being here in the stillness. And let's take 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. And then slowly starting to roll back up. You like to give your shoulders a little roll. Removing your bolster and pausing. You may like to rub your legs or stretch in any other way. Your legs a little bit of a shake. And then pausing to feel the rebound. You can lean forward or lean back on your hands. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Mm. Let's leave the rebound now and move on. So we're going to come into a toe squat and then into a normal squat and then into dangling pose. So I'm going to give you an option for toe squat to also add in a shoulder stretch. So if you'd like to do this, you can, the shoulder stretch as well, you can come up against the wall and do a toe squat. Otherwise, you can skip the shoulder stretch. So coming up against the wall, sure I've got some padding underneath my knees. I'm tucking my toes to start the toe squat. And this is option 1. If you're looking for a deeper option, you can either sit with a couple of blocks in between your legs and sit back towards your heels, or you can skip using the blocks and simply sit back towards your heels. So I'm now putting my arm back so the shoulder is on the wall. And you can turn to face the wall if that feels comfortable. You could possibly look over towards your hand, the hand that's on the wall. You may also like to bend into your elbow. So see what feels right for you. We won't be here for too much longer because we'll swap over to the other side. And let's release this side so it can be quite a strong stretch. And let's now switch over to the other side, so turning around. Coming into your preferred version of toe squat. And then adding your arm for a shoulder stretch, if that feels right for you. Bend into your elbow, look back towards your hand, towards your arm, or directly at the wall. And let's take 3 long, slow, deep breaths here. And then releasing your arm and coming out of toe squat. And let's rest feet in the opposite direction just by resting down into child's pose. So your buttocks comes towards your heels. Reach your arms forward. Rest your forehead on the mat. Just for a brief rest here. Then slowly coming back up. And from here, we're going to move into a squatting position. You can come into squat any way you like, or you can come from sitting on a cushion, bending into your knees and lifting up through your buttocks. So finding the right position for your feet, hips. If you find that your heels are off the ground, you could use a couple of blocks here underneath your heels. Or you could also use some padding if that feels a bit more comfortable. So you can rest your hands, arms in between your legs or on the outsides of your knees. And if none of these options feel comfortable, you could try having your knees together. My knees together here. And wrapping your arms around your knees. Noticing the sensations in your feet, in your ankles, your shins. And from here, let's come up into dangling. So we release our fists to the ground and lift up through our buttocks. So bringing our feet under hip width apart. And you can bring your arms up onto your knees. So if you have high blood pressure, you may like to skip this option or just simply rest on your knees. If you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, you could release your arms down or you could wait until the second round. It's up to you. So you can bend your knees and then start to work at gently straightening them to feel it down the back of your hamstrings. You can also drop the crown of your head towards your mat. Really feeling the strength in your legs here and the connection of the soles of your feet to your mat. And now let's release back down into a squatting position. Go straight down into squat. We'll do just one more round. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. Releasing out of squat, taking your fist to the ground, lifting up through your buttocks. Show you side on. You can either come to your knees again, or you may like to allow your arms to hang. You could hang on at your elbows. Or perhaps your arms, hands reach the mat. And allow your head to drop. Really feeling the weight, the strength in your legs. And now let's release back down to a squatting position. And from here, we're going to lie down onto our back to feel the rebound. Coming down onto your back, you can bring your knees into your chest. And circle your knees, or you may like to wrap your arms around your knees and rock from side to side. You've finished your movement, taking your legs out long. Have your arms out to your sides, a little bit out from your body. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just feeling the weight of your body on your mat, on the ground. Let's do one more here. Deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. So from here, we're going to move into a spinal extension. We're going to turn over onto our belly and move into Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx, if you're familiar with it, head on in at your own pace. Otherwise, bringing your elbows roughly underneath your shoulders. Your forearms and palms are flat on the mat. Notice how this feels for your lower back, your lumbar spine. If it feels a bit much, you can bring a bolster underneath your chest and come over the bolster here. So this will lessen the compression in your lumbar spine. Or if you'd like to work a bit deeper, you could bring your forearms on top of a bolster or some other form of padding. And then a couple of options here with your legs. You could bend into your knees, so this will increase the compression in your lumbar spine as well. So that's one option. Or you could add the half Sphinx meets half frog by bringing your right knee towards your right hip. I'm noticing if you need to lower your height, if you're adding your legs, just make adjustments accordingly to how you feel. And settling in and focusing on your breath. And that natural rhythm of your breath. Breath that's always with us. It's always available in daily life to help you ground back into the present moment. And if you're doing the half frog, releasing your right leg down, left knee towards your left hip. And if you feel like you've had enough in Sphinx, you can rest down onto your belly. We'll be here for about another 45 seconds. Now staying connected with your breath. Let's release left leg if you're working there. And slowly release out of the pose. Let's release down onto our belly. Rest your forehead on your hands. And let's take a sigh. So taking a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just feeling the whole weight, the front of your body, resting into your mat. Now let's leave the rebound and turn over onto our backs. So we're going to head here into Bananasana. So if you know banana pose, head in at your own pace. Otherwise, you can follow along. Take your legs out long, bring your arms above your head. You can hold on anywhere along your elbows, wrists. And let's go to the left side. So keeping your buttocks firmly planted on the mat, shuffling your upper body over to the left until you start to feel the stretch of the right side of your body. You can then bring your right foot to meet your left to meet your right. You can cross over at your ankles. So on either side, you could experiment with that. Notice which sensation feels best for you. So we're looking for the tugging sensation up the right-hand side of your body. And settling into your banana. And if this version of banana is not working for you, you could try a side banana by taking your bolster up one end of your mat. I'm lying on my side here and bringing my rib cage over the bolster. So I'm on my left-hand side here and bringing my right hand over the top. So I'm just feeling it up the right-hand side of my body, just like we do when working in the regular banana pose. You may need to shuffle around a little bit, get the right position for your knees, you can bend into your legs. Perhaps you need some extra support in places. Wherever you're working, finding that juicy edge. And softening as you exhale. Making any subtle adjustments as that edge shifts. Just allowing yourself to simply be here in banana. And you may, if it feels right for you, as we head into the last 15 minutes of class, you can start to invite a sense of peace into your whole being. Staying connected within your body, within where you're working. And let's take one more breath here, so just in your own time. And starting to make your way back out of banana. Shuffling your upper body back first. Releasing your arms out through your legs. If you're working the side banana, you come down onto your back. Just pause here for a moment. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth and arm. can release quite a bit of energy in banana pose. So just pausing between the sides to allow this to flow through the fascia. Then when you feel ready, setting up for banana on the other side. You can take your arms above your head and shuffle, keeping your buttocks firmly planted on your mat. So you're shuffling your upper body over to the right, bringing your left foot to meet your right, and the right to meet your left, cross at either ankle. Finding that first edge for your banana. And if you're working the side banana over the bolster, heading over to the other side. Let's all just take one deep breath in, filling up through our belly. And then exhaling out and contracting our belly back towards our spine. And then heading back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Finding a sense of peace if you're working there. You may like to be peace for yourself, for what you're experiencing in your own life. You may also like to extend that out to others on your exhale. If you need to just keep it for yourself, that's perfectly okay too. See if your edge has shifted. You need to make any small adjustment. Seeing any thoughts as they arise. And bringing yourself back to this present moment. Let's take 3 more breaths here, just in your own time. You've finished your breaths, slowly making your way out of the pose, rolling your upper body back to the center, releasing your legs, taking them out a little bit wide, arms out a little bit wide, sides of your body. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose. And out through our mouth with an arm. Just resting after banana. And then from here, setting yourself up for Shavasana. So you may like to put on an extra layer. Make sure that you're nice and warm. We'll be resting here for about 8 minutes or so. Make sure you're comfortable and warm. So you can lie down on your back. Place a bolster underneath your knees for some support. Or you may like to bend into your knees, place your feet flat on the floor. Or if none of those options work for you, you can sit or lie in any other way that is comfortable. I'm going to guide you in a relaxation, body awareness relaxation meditation. If it doesn't feel right for you, feel free to let my words wash over you. So let's start by bringing our awareness to our heels in contact with the ground. Noticing the sensation of both heels touching your mat. And now softening through your feet, your ankles, and then feeling your heels again. Softening through your lower legs, and then noticing the backs of your calves touching your mat. Bringing your awareness to your knees, softening from the center of the joints, energy spreading out to the surface. Bring your awareness to your thighs, front and back. Relaxing your thighs. Feeling any of the back of your thigh that is touching the mat. And then noticing your buttocks in contact with the mat. Softening your buttocks. Softening through your hips, your pelvic bowl. Now moving up your lower back to the center of your torso, front and back. Coming up into your rib cage, to your upper back, in between your shoulders. And let's pause here at our heart space. So in the center of our chest, our heart chakra, the energy center of the heart. Just noticing any sensations in this area. You may like to visualize crystal white diamond clear sitting at the center of your chest, symbolizing your purity and your interconnectedness with all living beings. Leaving the diamond, shifting your awareness now up to the top of your chest, your shoulder blades, and softening your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Moving your awareness down your upper arms to your elbows, forearms, your wrists, hands, and all the way down to your fingertips. And then noticing any part of your arms or your hands that is touching the ground. And feeling that connection. Bringing your awareness now to your neck and your throat, front and back. And softening. Softening through your jaw. Allow your whole face, making it your exploration. Softening your eyes, forehead, around your ears, sides of your head, the top of your head, and finishing at the back of your head. Now noticing the parts of your body that are touching the ground through your whole body. Feeling yourself grounded and connected to the earth. Just resting in this space for a little bit longer. And now let's start to bring ourselves back. So starting to bring some movement through your hands, through your feet. May like to take a stretch in any way. And rolling to one side. And pause here for a moment. And use the support of your arms to bring yourself back up. Coming up to a comfortable sitting position. And let's bring our hands to prayer at our heart center, our heart space, and bowing our head towards our heart. Let's take a moment to honor yourself. Just honoring yourself just as you are. You may like to honor others who are practicing in the group this week. And let's also honor our sacred earth. This earth that we all share, gives us ground for our experience of life. And together, let's say namaste. Namaste. I hope the practice tonight was beneficial for you in some way. If you do need different options or you've got questions, please do contact me for a chat. Otherwise, we are back on we're back next Tuesday after Easter. And I wish you a safe and happy Easter. Okay. Love to see you next week. All right. Bye for now.